Sarah Mitchell stood outside the big metal gate. Her hands shook as she held her old brown suitcase. The wind was strong and cold. It pulled at her dark hair and made her eyes water. Or maybe those were tears. She could not tell anymore. She looked at the piece of newspaper in her other hand. The paper was wrinkled and soft from being folded and unfolded so many times. She had read the words at least 100 times. Ranch cook needed. Room and board provided. Call Cole Ramsey at Double R Ranch. Sarah had called the number 3 days ago. A deep voice had answered. The man said his name was Cole. He told her to come by if she was interested. But Sarah was coming with a different plan. A crazy plan. A plan born from having no other choices left. She was 28 years old. She should have had a whole life ahead of her. Instead, she had nothing. Her mother died 3 months ago. The cancer took her slowly and painfully. Sarah watched her fade away day by day. The hospital bills came one after another. Big numbers that made Sarah's head spin. She paid what she could. She sold everything they owned. The furniture, the car, her mother's jewelry, even the small diner her mother had run for 20 years. But it was not enough. It was never enough. After her mother passed, the bills kept coming. Then came the letter from the landlord. She had 30 days to leave the apartment. Sarah tried to find work. She applied everywhere, but nobody wanted to hire someone with no recent experience, someone who had spent the last 2 years taking care of a dying parent. So here she was, standing outside a ranch in Montana, about to ask a stranger to marry her. The idea came to her one night at the town diner. She was drinking cheap coffee and trying to figure out where she would sleep when her 30 days were up. 2 old women sat in the booth behind her. They were talking about Cole Ramsey. That poor man, one woman said. 5 years since his wife died and he still has not moved on. Those children need a mother, the other woman replied. Emma is only 9 and little Jake is 7. Cole tries his best, but a ranch is no place for kids without a woman around. He is so stubborn, though. Refuses all the single women in town who try to help. Says he can manage on his own. Manage? His housekeepers quit every few months. The last one left because the isolation drove her crazy. That ranch is 30 miles from town. Not everyone can handle that kind of lonely. Sarah listened to every word. An idea formed in her mind. A terrible, desperate idea. But desperate times called for desperate measures. That night she looked up everything she could about Cole Ramsey. He owned one of the biggest ranches in the county. Thousands of acres, hundreds of cattle. He was wealthy, respected, and according to the town gossip, completely uninterested in remarrying. Sarah did not want love. She did not even want a real marriage. She just needed a roof over her head, a place to belong, and if she could help this man and his children in return, maybe it would not be so bad. Maybe it could work. Now standing at his gate, Sarah wondered if she had lost her mind. What kind of person proposes marriage to a complete stranger? But she had nowhere else to go. No other options. This was her last chance. She pushed open the gate. It made a loud creaking sound. She walked up the long dirt road toward the house. The ranch was huge. She could see cattle in the far fields. Several barns and buildings spread out across the property, and in the center of it all stood a large ranch house. It was made of wood and stone. It looked strong and solid, like it had been there forever and would stand for 100 more years. Sarah's heart pounded as she climbed the steps to the front porch. Her mouth was dry. She wanted to run away, but where would she run to? She had no home, no money, no future. This was it. She knocked on the door. The sound seemed too loud in the quiet afternoon. She waited. Nothing happened. She knocked again. This time she heard footsteps inside. Heavy boots on wooden floors. The door opened. Sarah looked up and up. The man in the doorway was tall, very tall, at least 6 feet 3 inches. He had broad shoulders and strong arms. His face was tanned from working outside. He had lines around his eyes from squinting in the sun. His hair was dark brown with some gray at the sides. His eyes were gray like storm clouds. Right now those eyes looked surprised. "Can I help you?" he asked. His voice was deep and rough. "Are you Cole Ramsey?" Sarah asked. Her voice came out smaller than she wanted. "I am. You must be Sarah Mitchell, the one who called about the cook position." "Yes, no. Sarah took a deep breath. "Mr. Ramsey, I came to ask you something different." Cole raised one eyebrow. He did not say anything, just waited. Sarah knew she had to speak fast before her courage ran out. The words tumbled out of her mouth in a rush. "Mr. Ramsey, I heard you need help with your children. I know you have a hard time keeping housekeepers. I'm a good cook. My mother owned a diner for 20 years. I learned everything from her. I can clean. I can help your kids with their homework. I am good with children. I will make you a deal. Marry me just on paper. Nothing real. I will take care of everything. Your house, your kids, all of it. You will not have to pay me any salary. Just give me a place to stay. That is all I need." She said it all without taking a breath. When she finished, she felt dizzy. She could not believe those words had actually come out of her mouth. Cole stared at her. His face showed complete shock. His gray eyes were wide. His mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. The silence stretched between them. It felt like hours, but was probably only seconds. Sarah felt her face turn red. Heat spread from her cheeks down her neck. What had she done? This was insane. He probably thought she was crazy. Or a con artist, or both. She should leave. She should apologize and run away and never come back. But she had nowhere to run to. "I know it sounds crazy," Sarah said quickly. "I know you do not know me. But I promise I am not trying to trick you or take advantage. I just need help. I have nothing left. My mother died 3 months ago. The medical bills took everything. I lost my apartment. I have no family, no friends who can help. I am desperate, Mr. Ramsey. And I heard you were desperate too, for help with your ranch and your children. So maybe we could help each other." Cole still did not speak. He just kept staring at her like she had grown a second head. Sarah felt tears starting to form in her eyes. She blinked them back. She would not cry, not here. "Not in front of this stranger, please," she whispered. "I am a good person. I work hard. I will prove it to you. Just give me a chance." Finally, Cole moved. He crossed his arms over his broad chest. He leaned against the door frame. He studied her face carefully. Sarah felt like he was looking right through her, seeing every secret, every fear, every desperate thought that had brought her to his door. "You do not have to marry me, sir," Sarah added. Her voice shook, but she kept going. "Just let me cook for you. Let me prove I can help around here. I will work for just room and board. Nothing else, no salary. Just a place to sleep and food to eat. That is all I am asking for." She held her breath and waited. This was it. He would either say yes or tell her to leave. Either way, her fate would be decided in the next few moments. Cole Ramsey looked at the desperate young woman standing on his porch. He had seen a lot of strange things in his 40 years of life. But this was definitely a first. Nobody had ever shown up at his door and proposed marriage before. Especially not a marriage of convenience to a complete stranger. He should say no. He should tell her this was inappropriate and send her away. Any sensible person would do that. But something stopped him. Maybe it was the look in her eyes. Fear mixed with determination, like a cornered animal ready to fight for survival. He recognized that look. He had seen it in the mirror after his wife Rachel died. When he had to figure out how to run a ranch and raise 2 small children all by himself, his kids did need help. That much was true. Emma was 9 now and Jake was 7. They needed more than Cole could give them on his own. He tried his best, but he was just one person. And the housekeepers never stayed long. The ranch was too isolated, too far from town, too quiet for most people. This Sarah Mitchell seemed different somehow. Desperate, yes, but also honest. She had not tried to trick him or lie. She had laid out her situation plainly, and her offer, while crazy, was also straightforward. She needed a home. He needed help. Simple as that. "What is your name?" Cole finally asked. "Sarah Mitchell, sir." "Stop calling me sir," Cole said. His voice was gruff but not unkind. "Makes me feel ancient." He studied her for another long moment. She was younger than him, maybe late 20s. She had dark hair that the wind kept blowing across her face. Brown eyes that looked tired. She was thin, too thin, like she had not been eating enough. Her clothes were clean but old. Her suitcase was battered and worn. Everything about her spoke of hard times. "You can cook?" he asked. "Yes, my mother owned a diner before she got sick. I have been cooking since I was 12 years old. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. I know how to make meals for working men. Meals that stick to your ribs and give you energy." Cole thought about the terrible meals he had been making lately. Burned eggs, dry chicken, overcooked pasta. His kids ate it without complaining, but he saw their faces. They missed good home cooking. He made a decision. It surprised even himself. But sometimes life required taking chances on unexpected things. "All right, Sarah Mitchell," he said. "Here's my counteroffer." Sarah followed Cole into the house. Her heart still beat fast from relief. She could not believe he said yes. She had a job. A real job, and a place to stay. For the first time in months, she felt like she could breathe again. The inside of the ranch house was bigger than it looked from outside. The front door opened into a large living room. There was a big stone fireplace on one wall. Comfortable-looking couches and chairs sat around it. The furniture was nice but dusty. Sarah noticed that right away. Everything needed a good cleaning. "Kitchen is through here," Cole said. He led her through the living room into a spacious kitchen. It had a big wooden table in the center, the kind of table that could seat 10 people easily. The counters were cluttered with dishes. The sink was full. Sarah itched to start cleaning immediately, but she held herself back. "Upstairs are the bedrooms," Cole continued. "4 of them. Mine is at the end of the hall. Emma and Jake each have their own rooms. You can take the guest room. It has its own bathroom. The kids share a bathroom between their rooms." He showed her a small room off the kitchen. "This is the pantry. We get supplies delivered from town once a week. Sometimes twice if we need extra. Make a list of what you need and I will get it." Sarah nodded. She was taking in everything. The layout of the house. What needed to be cleaned. What cooking supplies were available. Her mind was already making plans. "The ranch hands eat breakfast and lunch here during the week," Cole explained. "Usually about 8 men. Dinner is just me and the kids. The hands go to the bunkhouse for their evening meal." "So 3 meals a day?" Sarah asked. "Breakfast for everyone. Lunch for the ranch hands. Dinner for your family, that is right. Think you can handle it?" "Yes," Sarah said with confidence. This was something she knew how to do. Cooking for her mother's diner had prepared her for exactly this kind of work. Just then, Sarah heard voices outside. Children's voices. The front door burst open and 2 kids ran inside. They stopped short when they saw Sarah standing in the kitchen with their father. "Dad, who is that?" the boy asked. He was small with messy brown hair and curious eyes. The girl was older and taller. She had long dark hair pulled back in a ponytail. Her gray eyes were just like her father's. She looked at Sarah with suspicion. "Kids, this is Sarah Mitchell," Cole said. "She is going to be our new cook and housekeeper. Sarah, this is Emma and Jake." "Hi," Jake said immediately. He smiled at her. "Are you going to make us dinner?" "Dad's cooking is really bad." "Jake," Emma said sharply. She elbowed her little brother. "What? It is true. Last night he burned the macaroni." "How do you even burn macaroni?" Sarah could not help but smile. Jake reminded her of the kids who used to come into her mother's diner. Full of energy and honesty. "I hope I can make better macaroni than your dad," Sarah said. "What is your favorite food, Jake?" "Pancakes. With chocolate chips." "And yours, Emma?" Sarah asked the quiet girl. Emma shrugged. "I do not care." But her eyes said something different. There was sadness there. And loneliness. "Well, I will try to make things you both like," Sarah said gently. Cole cleared his throat. "Kids, go wash up. Sarah is going to make dinner tonight." Her first meal here, the children ran upstairs. Sarah heard their footsteps above her head. She turned to Cole. "I should get started then. What time do you usually eat dinner?" 6 o'clock. It is 4 now. "Is that enough time?" "That is perfect." Sarah looked at the messy kitchen. "Would it be okay if I clean up a bit first? Before I start cooking?" "Do whatever you need to do," Cole said. "This is your kitchen now. I will be in my office if you need anything. It is the room to the left of the living room." After Cole left, Sarah stood alone in the kitchen. Her kitchen now. The thought made her want to cry again. But there was no time for tears. She had work to do. She started by rolling up her sleeves and tackling the dishes. The sink was piled high with plates and cups and pots. Sarah filled the sink with hot, soapy water and began washing. It felt good to have her hands busy, to have a purpose again. As she washed, she looked around the kitchen more carefully. The stove was old but good quality. The refrigerator was large. She opened it to see what food was available. There was not much. Some eggs, milk, cheese, wilted vegetables. Some chicken in the freezer. Not a lot to work with, but she could manage. Sarah decided to make something simple for her first meal. Roasted chicken with vegetables and mashed potatoes. Comfort food. The kind of meal that made you feel warm and safe. She found spices in the pantry. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, some dried herbs. She got to work. While the chicken roasted in the oven, Sarah cleaned the rest of the kitchen. She wiped down the counters, swept the floor, organized the pantry. The kitchen slowly transformed from chaos to order. It felt like magic. At 6 o'clock exactly, Cole and the kids came to the table. Sarah had set out plates and silverware. She brought the food from the kitchen and placed it on the table. The roasted chicken was golden brown and smelled amazing. The vegetables were perfectly cooked. The mashed potatoes were creamy and smooth. "Wow," Jake said. His eyes were huge. "This looks so good." Emma said nothing, but Sarah saw her eyes light up when she smelled the food. Cole carved the chicken and served everyone. They all took their first bites. Sarah held her breath, waiting for their reactions. "This is delicious," Cole said. He sounded surprised. "It is the best dinner we have had in forever," Jake said with his mouth full. Even Emma smiled a little. "It is really good," she admitted quietly. Sarah felt pride swell in her chest. This was what she was good at. This was what she could offer. She might not have money or a fancy education or a family, but she could cook. She could create meals that made people happy. That was worth something. After dinner, Sarah cleaned up while Cole helped the kids with their homework. She could hear them in the living room. Jake was struggling with his math. Cole was patient but clearly tired. Emma worked silently on her own. She never asked for help even when she seemed stuck. When the kitchen was spotless again, Sarah felt exhausted. It had been a long day. A long few months, really. She climbed the stairs to the guest room. Her room now, it was small but clean. There was a bed with a simple blue quilt, a dresser, a small closet, a window that looked out over the dark fields. Sarah unpacked her few belongings. It did not take long. She did not have much, but this room was hers, at least for 3 months, maybe longer if she did her job well. That night, Sarah lay in bed and listened to the sounds of the ranch. It was so quiet compared to the city. No cars, no sirens, no neighbors shouting through thin walls, just the wind and the occasional sound of cattle in the distance. It was peaceful. Sarah fell asleep faster than she had in years. The next morning, Sarah woke up before dawn. Old habits from the diner days. She went downstairs in the dark, quiet house. She made a pot of strong coffee. Then she started breakfast. By the time Cole came downstairs at 5:30, the kitchen smelled like bacon and fresh biscuits. He stopped in the doorway and stared. "You are up early," he said. "Ranch hands need to eat before they start work, right?" Sarah said. "I figured 6 o'clock breakfast." Cole nodded slowly. "That is right. But you did not have to start so early on your second day." "I wanted to," Sarah said simply. And it was true. She wanted to prove herself. To show Cole that hiring her was the right decision, the ranch hands started arriving at 6. They were rough-looking men with weathered faces and calloused hands. They looked surprised to see Sarah. They looked even more surprised when she served them huge plates of eggs, bacon, biscuits, and hash browns. "Ma'am, this is amazing," one of the older hands said. His name was Red. He had been working for Cole for 15 years. "Best breakfast we have had on this ranch in a long time." "Thank you," Sarah said. She felt herself blushing. She was not used to compliments anymore. The men ate quickly and went out to start their work. Cole ate with them but slower. He watched Sarah move around the kitchen. She was efficient and confident, like she had been doing this her whole life, which he supposed she had. Emma and Jake came down after the ranch hands left. Sarah made them fresh pancakes, with chocolate chips for Jake. Emma pretended not to care, but Sarah saw her sneak 2 extra pancakes when she thought no one was looking. After breakfast, Sarah packed lunches for Cole and the ranch hands. Sandwiches with thick slices of meat and cheese, apples, cookies she had baked while the biscuits were in the oven. The men left for the day and suddenly the house was quiet. Just Sarah and the 2 children. "Do you go to school?" Sarah asked. "We do homeschool," Emma said. "Dad teaches us after dinner, but we have workbooks we are supposed to do during the day." Sarah nodded. "Would you like some help? I could work with you while I do my chores." Jake jumped at the chance. He dragged his math book over to the kitchen table. Emma hesitated but eventually brought her books too. Sarah cleaned and did laundry while helping them with their lessons. She found that she enjoyed it. Teaching came naturally to her. The days fell into a rhythm. Sarah woke early and made breakfast. She packed lunches. She taught the kids and kept the house clean. She made dinners that brought everyone to the table with smiles. After dinner, she cleaned up while Cole worked with the kids on harder subjects. Then everyone went to bed and the cycle started again the next day. But Sarah was not just keeping house. The second month at Double R Ranch brought changes that nobody expected. The weather turned colder as autumn settled over Montana. The leaves changed colors and the morning air had a sharp bite to it. But inside the ranch house, everything felt warmer. Sarah had completely made the house her own. Fresh curtains hung in the windows. She had painted the kitchen a soft yellow color that made it feel sunny even on gray days. The smell of baking bread filled the house most afternoons. Small changes, but they added up to something bigger. The house felt alive again. Emma started coming to Sarah with problems. Small things at first. A button that fell off her shirt. Help with a hard math problem. Then bigger things. She told Sarah about a girl in her online class who was mean to her. About how she missed her mother. About nightmares she sometimes had. Sarah listened to everything. She never tried to replace Emma's mother. She just tried to be there. To be steady and reliable. Someone Emma could count on. Jake was completely attached to Sarah now. He held her hand when they walked to the barn. He sat next to her at dinner. He asked her to read him bedtime stories every night. His favorite was when Sarah made up stories about a brave little boy who had adventures on a ranch. Jake would fall asleep smiling. The ranch hands loved Sarah too. She learned all their names. She remembered how each one liked their coffee. She made special treats on their birthdays. Red told Cole one day that Sarah was the best thing to happen to the ranch in years. The other men agreed, but the biggest change was in Cole himself. He started staying in the kitchen after dinner to help Sarah wash dishes. At first, Sarah protested. She said it was her job, but Cole insisted. So they developed a routine. Sarah washed and Cole dried. They would talk while they worked. These conversations became the best part of Sarah's day. Cole told her about the ranch, about growing up in Montana, about his dreams of expanding the herd. Sarah told him about her mother's diner, about the regular customers who became like family, about learning to crack eggs with one hand when she was 8 years old. They avoided talking about painful things at first. Cole did not mention his late wife. Sarah did not talk about the medical bills and eviction, but slowly, carefully, they began to share the harder stories too. One night, about 6 weeks after Sarah arrived, Cole told her about Rachel, his wife, Emma and Jake's mother. She was beautiful, Cole said. He stared out the window over the sink. Full of life, always laughing. When we met, I was just a ranch hand working for my father. She was visiting from the city. Her friend had family in town. I saw her at the general store and I knew. Just knew she was special. Sarah kept washing dishes quietly, giving Cole space to talk. We got married fast. Maybe too fast. She moved out here to the ranch. I thought she loved it. She said she did. But looking back, I think she was lonely. The ranch is so isolated. She missed her friends, missed the city, but she never complained. Not once. She sounds like a good person, Sarah said softly. She was. The best. When she got sick, it happened so fast. One day she was fine. The next day she was tired all the time. Then came the diagnosis. Cancer, stage 4. The doctors said there was nothing they could do. She had maybe 6 months. Cole's voice cracked. Sarah wanted to hug him, but she kept her hands in the dishwater. Let him finish. She lasted 8 months. Every day watching her fade away. The kids were so young. Emma was only 4. Jake was 2. They did not understand why Mommy was always sleeping, why she could not play with them anymore, and I was trying to hold everything together. The ranch. The kids, Rachel, it was too much. But you did it, Sarah said. You kept going. That takes incredible strength. Did I, though? Look at what you walked into. A messy house. Kids who needed attention I was not giving them. I was just surviving, not living. Sometimes surviving is all we can do, Sarah said. She finally turned to look at him. Sometimes that is enough. Cole met her eyes. What about you? Tell me about your mother. So Sarah told him, about watching her mother waste away, about the bills that never stopped coming, about selling everything including her mother's beloved diner, about the guilt she felt. Maybe if she had noticed the symptoms sooner, maybe if she had made her mother go to the doctor earlier, maybe things would be different. You did everything you could, Cole said firmly, just like I did. We cannot change the past. We can only keep moving forward, Sarah nodded. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She did not try to hide them. Cole handed her a dish towel. She dried her face and they went back to washing dishes. But something had shifted between them. A wall had come down. They had shared their pain, and somehow it felt lighter now. Shared weight is easier to carry. The conversations continued every night after that. Sometimes they talked about serious things. Sometimes they laughed about silly things. Cole told her funny stories about the ranch hands. Sarah told him about the crazy customers from the diner. They found they had the same sense of humor, the same values, the same quiet strength that came from surviving hard times. Sarah noticed she was thinking about Cole more and more. The way his eyes crinkled when he smiled, how gentle he was with his children, his strong hands and quiet confidence. She tried to push these thoughts away. She was here to work. She had a 3-month contract. Getting feelings involved would only complicate things. But hearts do not listen to logic. Cole was having the same problem. He caught himself watching Sarah throughout the day. The way she hummed while she cooked. How patient she was with the kids. Her soft laugh. The peaceful look on her face when she stood on the porch at sunset.
He had not felt this way since Rachel.
Actually, if he was honest, this felt different than Rachel. Rachel had been exciting and passionate. Sarah was calm and steady, like coming home after a long journey. But Cole felt guilty about these feelings. Rachel had only been gone 5 years. Was it too soon? Would people think badly of him? More importantly, what about Sarah? She had come here desperate and alone. Was it fair to pursue something when she might feel obligated because he was her employer? He did not want to take advantage, so Cole kept his feelings to himself. The turning point came on a cold October night. Emma woke up burning with fever. It was 3 a.m. Her cries woke the whole house. Cole rushed to her room. Emma's skin was hot to the touch. Her eyes were glassy. She was crying and calling for her mother. For Rachel, Cole felt panic rise in his chest. His daughter was sick, really sick, and the nearest hospital was an hour away. Sarah appeared in the doorway. She wore an old robe over her pajamas. Her hair was messy from sleep, but her eyes were clear and focused. "What can I do?" she asked calmly. "I do not know," Cole said. His voice shook. "She is burning up. I need to take her to the hospital." Sarah came into the room. She put her hand on Emma's forehead. Then she checked Emma's neck and looked in her throat. "It might just be flu," Sarah said. "Let me try to bring the fever down first. If it does not work in an hour, we go to the hospital." "Okay," Cole nodded. He felt helpless. Sarah took charge. She sent Cole to get cool water and clean washcloths. She gave Emma medicine for the fever. She gently sponged Emma's face and arms with cool water. She spoke softly to the scared little girl, telling her stories, promising she would be okay. Cole sat on the other side of the bed. He held Emma's hand. Jake appeared in the doorway, scared and confused. Sarah told Cole to take Jake back to bed, to reassure him that his sister would be fine. Cole did not want to leave Emma, but he knew Jake needed him too. When Cole came back 10 minutes later, he found Sarah in the rocking chair next to Emma's bed. Emma was asleep. Sarah had her hand on the girl's forehead. She was humming softly. "An old lullaby. The fever is starting to come down," Sarah whispered. "I think she just has a bad flu. But we should watch her closely tonight." "You should go back to bed," Cole said. "I can stay with her." "We can both stay," Sarah said. "I do not mind." So they sat together in Emma's room. Cole in a chair by the door, Sarah in the rocking chair. They took turns checking Emma's temperature. The fever slowly came down. By dawn, Emma was sleeping peacefully. Her skin was cool. The crisis was over. Cole looked at Sarah. She was still in the rocking chair. Her eyes were closed. Her hand was still on Emma's forehead, like she could will the sickness away through sheer force of love. Something shifted in Cole's chest. A wall he had built around his heart after Rachel died. It had been cracking slowly over the past 2 months. Now it crumbled completely. He was in love with Sarah Mitchell. The realization hit him like a punch to the gut. He loved her. Not because she was a good cook or housekeeper. Not because his kids needed a mother. He loved her. The person. Her kindness. Her strength. Her quiet courage. The way she made his house feel like a home. The way she made him feel alive again. But what could he do about it? She worked for him. She had come here desperate and alone. Would it be fair to tell her how he felt? What if she did not feel the same way? What if it made things awkward?
He could lose her.
And that thought was unbearable, so Cole said nothing. The next morning, Emma woke up feeling much better. The fever was gone. She was weak and tired, but okay. Sarah made her soup and tea. She sat with Emma and read to her. Jake brought his sister his favorite toy to cheer her up. It was a good day despite the scary night, but something had changed. Everyone felt it. November arrived cold and quiet. Sarah woke up one morning and realized something that made her heart sink. Her 3 months were almost over. In 1 week, her contract with Cole would end. She had been so busy living and working that she had forgotten to worry about the future. Now the worry came rushing back. What would happen after the 3 months? Cole had said they would discuss something permanent if things worked out, but he had not mentioned it at all. Maybe he was happy with the arrangement as it was. Maybe he wanted her to stay as an employee and nothing more. Maybe she had imagined all those long looks and almost touches. Sarah tried to bring it up casually at breakfast. The ranch hands seem happy with the food, she said. I hope everything has been working out well. Better than well, Cole said. He was focused on his eggs. Everything has been great. That is good, Sarah said. She waited for him to say more. To mention the contract. To say anything about the future. But he just finished his breakfast and headed out to work. Sarah felt her chest tighten with worry. Maybe she should start looking for other jobs, just in case. But the thought of leaving made her feel sick. She loved this ranch. She loved the kids. She loved the quiet mornings and the big sky. She loved belonging somewhere, and she loved Cole. That was the truth she had been avoiding. She had fallen completely in love with him. The way he was patient with his children. How he worked hard every day without complaining. His quiet strength. His rare smile that made her heart skip. She loved him. But he had given no sign that he felt the same way. Emma noticed Sarah was quieter than usual. At lunch, she asked, Are you okay, Sarah? I am fine, sweetie, Sarah lied. Just thinking about things. What things? Jake asked through a mouthful of sandwich. Grown-up things, Sarah said. Nothing for you to worry about, but Emma was not convinced. She was smart for 9 years old. She saw the worry on Sarah's face. That night after dinner, Emma found her father in his office. Dad, can I ask you something? Emma said. Of course, honey. What is it? Are you going to let Sarah stay? After her 3 months are up? Cole looked surprised. Why do you ask that? Because she seems sad today. And because her contract ends next week. Everyone knows that. Cole felt guilt wash over him. He had been so caught up in his own worries that he had not thought about how Sarah must be feeling. Uncertain about her future, worried that she might have to leave. He had been so focused on figuring out his own feelings that he had not considered hers. Do you want Sarah to stay? Cole asked his daughter. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Yes, I love her, Dad. She makes everything better. She braids my hair and helps with my homework. She listens when I talk. She makes the house feel happy again. And I think you love her too. Cole stared at his daughter. What makes you say that? Because I see how you look at her. The same way you used to look at the pictures of Mom. Like she is the most important person in the world. Cole felt his throat get tight. It is complicated, Emma. Why? If you love her and she makes us happy, why is it complicated? Because Sarah came here because she needed help. She was desperate. I do not want to take advantage of that. What if she only stays because she has nowhere else to go? That would not be fair to her. Emma thought about this. Did you ask her how she feels? No. Maybe you should. It sounded so simple when Emma said it. But Cole knew it was not that simple. There was so much at stake. His heart. His kids' hearts. Sarah's future. He could not rush this. I will think about it, Cole told Emma. I promise. Emma hugged her father. Do not think too long, Dad. Good things do not wait forever. Cole could not sleep that night. He kept thinking about what Emma said. About Sarah's worried face that he had noticed too. About the contract ending in 1 week. He needed to do something, but what? The next morning, Cole found Red at the barn. Can I ask you something? Cole said, Sure, boss. What is on your mind? If you loved someone but you were not sure if they loved you back, what would you do? Red smiled. We are talking about Sarah? Maybe. Boss, that woman looks at you like you hung the moon. If you cannot see that, you are blind. She loves you. Anyone with eyes can see it. The question is, What are you going to do about it? What if I am wrong? What if she does not feel that way? Then you will know, and you can move on. But if you are right, if she does love you, think about what you could have. A real family. Someone to grow old with, happiness. Do not let fear rob you of that. Cole knew Red was right. He had to take a chance. He had to tell Sarah how he felt. But first, he needed to figure out how to do it. Meanwhile, Sarah had made a decision. If Cole did not mention the contract by the end of the week, she would bring it up herself. She could not live in this uncertainty anymore. She needed to know if she had a future here, or if she should start looking for something else. That evening, after the kids went to bed, Sarah found Cole on the porch. He was staring out at the dark fields. Sarah took a deep breath and approached him. "Cole, can we talk?" she asked. "Actually, I was hoping to talk to you too," Cole said. "Come sit." They sat in the 2 chairs on the porch, the same chairs where they had talked so many times before. But tonight felt different, heavy with unspoken words. "You go first," Sarah said. "No, you go," Cole said. Sarah laughed nervously. "Okay, I wanted to talk about my contract. It ends next week." "I know," Cole said quietly. "You have not mentioned anything about it, about what happens next. And I need to know. If you want me to leave, I understand. I can start looking for other work. But if there is a chance I can stay, I would like that. I love it here. I love the kids. I love the ranch. I do not want to leave, but I need to know what you want." Cole was quiet for a long moment. Sarah's heart pounded. This was it. He was going to tell her that the 3 months were enough, that it was time for her to move on. "When you first came here," Cole said slowly, "you offered me a business arrangement, a marriage on paper. I turned you down because it did not feel right. Because I thought I could never love anyone again. That my heart died with Rachel." Sarah felt tears start to form. This sounded like a goodbye. "But I was wrong," Cole continued. His voice got stronger. "These past 3 months, watching you with my kids, seeing you make this house a home, talking with you every night, I realized something. My heart did not die. It was just sleeping. And you woke it up." Sarah looked at him, hardly daring to hope. "I am not asking for a marriage on paper, Sarah. I am asking if you would consider a real one. Not because you need a place to stay. Not because my kids need a mother, though they do love you. I'm asking because I fell in love with you. Somewhere between your apple pies and bedtime stories. Somewhere between our late-night talks and your laughter filling this house. I fell in love with you." Sarah could not breathe, could not speak. Tears rolled down her face, but these were happy tears. "I know it has only been 3 months, Cole said. He sounded nervous now. "I know it is fast. But I also know that I do not want to spend another day without you here, not as an employee, as my partner, my wife. If you will have me." "Yes," Sarah whispered. Then louder, "Yes, yes to everything." Cole stood up and pulled Sarah to her feet. He looked into her eyes. "You mean it? You really want this?" "I love you," Sarah said. It felt amazing to finally say it out loud. "I have loved you for weeks now." "I was so scared you did not feel the same way." "Scared that when the contract ended, I would have to leave. This ranch, this house, you and the kids, this is home for me. The first real home I have had in so long." Cole pulled her into his arms. They held each other tight. 2 people who had been broken and lost, who had found each other in the most unexpected way, who had built something real and beautiful from desperation and hope. Cole kissed her. Soft and gentle at first, then deeper, years of loneliness and grief pouring out, making way for something new. Something good. They finally pulled apart. Both of them were smiling and crying at the same time. "The kids are going to be so happy," Sarah said. "They already know," Cole admitted. "Emma figured it out weeks ago. She told me I needed to tell you how I felt." Sarah laughed. "She is a smart girl." "She gets that from her mother," Cole said. Then he paused. "Is it okay that I talk about Rachel?" "Of course," Sarah said firmly. "She was your wife, the mother of your children. She will always be part of your life. I would never want to erase that." Cole looked at her with such love that it took Sarah's breath away. "How did I get so lucky to find you?" "I think we found each other," Sarah said. "Both of us broken. Both of us desperate. Both of us looking for a second chance." They heard a noise from the house. They turned to see Emma and Jake peeking through the window. When they realized they had been caught, the kids ran outside. "Are you staying forever now?" Jake asked Sarah. "Are you going to be our mom?" Sarah looked at Cole. He nodded. She knelt down to be at Jake's level. If it is okay with you guys, yes. I would love to be part of your family. Jake threw his arms around her neck. Yes, best day ever. Emma was more reserved, but her eyes were shining. Really? You really want to stay? More than anything, Sarah said. She held out her arm and Emma came into the hug too. Sarah held both children close. Her children now. Cole watched his family. His heart felt full for the first time in 5 years. He thought about how Sarah had shown up at his door 3 months ago, desperate and alone, with a crazy proposal. Winter came to the Double R Ranch with a fierce beauty. Snow covered the fields in white blankets. The cattle huddled together for warmth. Ice hung from the edges of the barn roof like crystal decorations. Inside the ranch house, preparations for a spring wedding were underway. Sarah woke up each morning still amazed that this was her life now. She was not just the cook and housekeeper anymore. She was Cole's fiancée. She was going to be Emma and Jake's mother. The knowledge filled her with joy and also with responsibility. She wanted to do right by all of them. Emma had completely opened up to Sarah now. The walls were gone. She talked about her mother, Rachel, without sadness. She told Sarah stories about the things she remembered. How Rachel used to sing in the kitchen. How she made the best hot chocolate. How she read bedtime stories with different voices for each character. I do not want to forget her, Emma told Sarah one afternoon while they baked cookies together. You will never forget her, Sarah assured her. She is your mother. She will always be part of you. And I am not trying to replace her, Emma. I am just trying to add to what she gave you. More love, not different love. Emma hugged Sarah tight. I know, and I love you too. Is it okay to love both? It is more than okay, Sarah said. It is perfect. You have a big heart, Emma. Big enough for lots of love. Jake had taken to calling Sarah Mom sometimes. The first time he did it, he looked scared, like he had done something wrong. But Sarah just smiled and said, I like that name. Now Jake used it all the time. Mom, can you help me with my math? Mom, look what I made. Mom, what is for dinner? Each time he said it, Sarah's heart swelled. Cole watched his family come together and felt grateful every single day. He had been so lost after Rachel died, so focused on just surviving each day that he forgot about living. Sarah had reminded him what it meant to be alive, to feel joy, to have hope for tomorrow. He still thought about Rachel sometimes, still missed her, but the grief was different now, softer. He could remember the good times without the crushing sadness. He could honor her memory while also building a new future. It felt like permission to be happy again. The ranch hands threw Cole a party at the bunkhouse. Red made a toast. Boss, when that young lady showed up at your door, I think we all wondered if she would make it out here. City girl with no ranch experience. But she proved us all wrong. She is tough as nails and twice as sweet. You are a lucky man. Do not I know it, Cole said. He raised his glass. To Sarah, the best thing to happen to this ranch in years. The men all cheered. They had come to love Sarah like a sister. She took care of them, remembered their birthdays, asked about their families, made them feel valued. The Double R Ranch had never been happier. Planning the wedding was simple because Sarah did not want anything fancy. Just family and close friends. They would have the ceremony in the living room by the big stone fireplace. The same fireplace where they had all huddled together during the storm. The same room where Sarah had told stories to the kids. It felt right. Sarah made her own dress. She was good with a sewing machine. She found beautiful cream-colored fabric in town. Simple but elegant. Emma helped her pick out the pattern. They spent hours together cutting and pinning and sewing. It was more than making a dress. It was bonding, creating memories. Emma would be the flower girl. She was so excited she could barely stand still for her dress fitting. Jake would be the ring bearer. He practiced walking slowly and holding a pillow for weeks. He took his job very seriously. Cole bought a new suit, navy blue. Red helped him pick it out. You clean up nice, boss, Red teased. Almost did not recognize you without dirt on your face. Very funny, Cole said. But he was smiling. He could not remember the last time he felt this happy, this hopeful about the future. As spring approached, the snow melted. Green started showing through the brown grass. Flowers began to bloom. The ranch came alive with the new season. It felt symbolic, like the whole world was starting fresh along with them. One evening in late March, Sarah sat on the porch watching the sunset. Cole came out and joined her. This was their special time. after the kids went to bed. Just the two of them talking about everything and nothing. Second thoughts? Cole asked. He was joking, but there was a tiny bit of real question in his voice. Not even for a second, Sarah said firmly. You? Only about whether I deserve this. Deserve you. Stop that, Sarah said. She took his hand. We both deserve happiness, Cole. We both went through hell. We both survived. Now we get to live. Really live. Together. Cole kissed her hand. How did you get so wise? Suffering teaches you things, Sarah said. It either breaks you or makes you stronger. We chose strong. They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then Sarah said something she had been thinking about for weeks. Cole, I want to do something. With the money from our wedding gifts. If people give us money, I mean, what is that? I want to start a fund. To help people like me, people who are drowning in medical bills, who lose everything taking care of sick family members, who end up homeless and desperate. I want to help them before they get to that point. Cole looked at her with such love and pride. That is a beautiful idea. Let us do it. And let us put some of our own money in too. Make it something real. You would do that? Sarah asked, of course. You know what it feels like to be desperate, to have nowhere to turn. If we can help even one person avoid that, it is worth it. Sarah felt tears in her eyes. Thank you. This means everything to me. You mean everything to me, Cole said. I know I do not say it enough. But I love you, Sarah. More than I thought it was possible to love someone again. You saved me. Saved my kids. Saved this whole ranch, really. We saved each other, Sarah corrected. That is what love does. It saves us from being alone. The wedding day arrived with perfect spring weather, sunny but not too hot, a light breeze, flowers blooming everywhere. The ranch house was decorated with wildflowers that Emma and Jake had picked. Simple and beautiful. Sarah got ready in her room. The dress fit perfectly. Emma helped her with her hair. They braided it with flowers woven through. Sarah looked at herself in the mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back. She looked happy, healthy, loved. So different from the desperate woman who had arrived here 6 months ago. You look like a princess, Emma said. Thank you, sweetheart. And you look beautiful, too. Emma wore a light pink dress. Jake wore a little suit that made him look so grown up. They were both glowing with excitement. Red knocked on the door. Everyone is ready when you are, Miss Sarah. Sarah took a deep breath. This was it, the moment that would change everything. She was not scared, though. She was sure. This was right. She walked down the stairs. Red offered his arm to walk her into the living room. I am honored to do this, he said quietly. Your parents would be proud of you. Sarah felt tears threaten, but she blinked them back. Thank you, Red, for everything. For being Cole's friend. For accepting me. Easy to accept someone who makes everyone around them better, Red said. They entered the living room. It was full of people. The ranch hands. Some neighbors from surrounding ranches. The pastor from town. But Sarah only saw Cole. He stood by the fireplace in his navy suit. His eyes were locked on her. The love on his face took her breath away. Jake walked ahead of them with the ring pillow. He did it perfectly. Emma scattered flower petals. Everything was just right. Red handed Sarah over to Cole. Cole took her hands. They were shaking slightly. Both nervous and excited, the pastor began the ceremony. Sarah barely heard the words. She was too focused on Cole, on the future they were about to promise each other, on the family they had become. When it was time for vows, Cole went first. Sarah, 6 months ago you came to my door with a proposal. You were desperate and brave and honest. I could have taken advantage of that. But something told me to offer you something real instead. A chance to earn your place here. I am so glad I listened to that voice, because you did not just earn your place. You became the heart of this home. You brought light back into our lives. You reminded me what it meant to be happy. I promised to love you, to honor you, to build a life with you that is full of joy and purpose. I promised to be your partner in all things. Today and always. Sarah was crying now. Happy tears. Cole, I came here with nothing. Homeless and alone and scared. I thought my life was over. But you saw past my desperation. You gave me respect and opportunity. You let me prove myself. In doing that, you gave me back my self-worth. You reminded me that I had value, that I was more than my circumstances. I fell in love with you because of your kindness, your strength, your dedication to your family. I promised to love you and your children, to make this house a home, to stand by you through good times and hard times, to build something beautiful with you, today and always. The pastor pronounced them husband and wife. You may kiss your bride. Cole pulled Sarah close and kissed her. The room erupted in cheers and applause. Emma and Jake ran up and hugged them both. Everyone was laughing and crying at the same time. Red whistled loudly. 3 cheers for Mr. and Mrs. Ramsey. The celebration moved to the dining room. Sarah had made a huge meal. The table was loaded with food. Everyone ate and laughed and told stories. It was perfect, simple and real and full of love. Later, after the guests left and the kids were in bed, Cole and Sarah stood on the porch.